Welcome to Off the Turf with Raging Cajun Softball. I'm your host, Greg Larnard. Let's meet our first guest of this 2020 season. It happens to be outfielder, redshirt sophomore, am I correct?
Yes.
Kendall Talley, welcome in. What's going on?
Good, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. So right off the bat, we're here at Lampson, beautiful Lampson Park. You guys got the new video scoreboard out there. It looks amazing. What is your favorite thing about playing here at Lampson Park, being a transfer from Lamar?
There is 3,000 people at every game that we play. I mean, you can't beat that. It's phenomenal. You go up to bat and everybody's cheering for you. You can't beat it.
Why did you choose Louisiana after transferring from Lamar?
Have you seen this place? I mean, I got here and I immediately fell in love. You know, the Raging Cajun softball program is historic, and growing up I had always watched them on TV. Always wanted to be a Raging Cajun, never thought I was good enough. Had a decent year at Lamar, had some coaching changes, got an opportunity to come here. It was a no-doubter for me. So
you're a left-handed batter, and we're going to ask you about your stance here in a minute, but when you were at Lamar, you were more of a slapper, correct? Mm-hmm. And now that you've come to Louisiana, how has that transition been from being a slapper to being more of a traditional hitter? Was that something that Coach Glasgow right off the bat said, hey, Kendall, we want to change this with you when you got here? Or was this kind of a transition to this year where you're playing now where you redshirted last year?
I don't know if you know, they changed the slapping rule. So it used to be like if this is the batter's box, mm-hmm. you could be partially out, you could be out as long as you were partially in. Now, if this is the line, if you're any pinky toe out, you're out. And so. Well,
didn't you get called out against LSU on that?
And I wasn't even slapping, so I don't know what happened. But I had been slapping my whole life, so then trying to change that was so hard. And I could stay in the box, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. Coach Jerry's a phenomenal hitting coach. He saw a little pop in my swing, and he was like, why don't we try swinging away, put a little leg kick in here, see what happens, and just kind of ran with it.
How was that transition? Was it difficult for you?
Oh,
Are you
it was
glad?
So hard.
Are you glad that you kind of redshirted last year? Were able to kind of get used to it?
That was the whole reason that I took the red shirt, was to develop my swing to compete to be a starter this year.
And now look at you. You're playing. You're leading off, and that's something that Coach Glasgow, you didn't start the year playing this year. It was kind of coming off the bench, playing a little bit, and then Coach Glasgow said, I need to kind of change some things up, and came to you and asked you, where did you want to hit in the lineup? And you, a lot of kids would have been like, hey, I'm just glad of wherever I'm playing, but you said, I want to hit leadoff. Why did you tell him you wanted to hit leadoff?
I've hit leadoff my entire life.
So that's where you're most comfortable.
And he asked me, he was like, I want to put you in a position where you can be most successful. Where do you think it's going to be? And lead off it was, and I didn't think it was going to stick, but here we are 5 games later, so we're going to ride with it.
What's your approach from being a leadoff hitter? Because I know from playing baseball that there's a distinct approach from hitting leadoff to maybe hitting with a runner on second base, runner on third base, an RBI situation.
So definitely leading off the first step out of the game, you want to see pitches, because if I do get on first base or I get out, I get to run to my dugout and I get to tell my next hitter, she threw me this, and this, she stayed out. She came in, it was kind of quick, kind of soft, she had a decent changeup. Like, you want to see a lot of pitches so that way you can get it back to your dugout and we can be more successful. And that's just your first step out. After that, it's fair game. If the first one's down the middle, I'm hacking.
Yeah, for sure. And is that how you approach it when you're in an RBI situation too? Is it, hey, I'm being aggressive, if I see it, I'm going after it? Or do you want to kind of work the at-bat a little bit more?
I would say you just want to get your pitch, like whatever you're feeling right now. If the first pitch is what you're looking for, then go for it. If you're sitting a certain pitch, then you want to wait for that. Mm-hmm. You know, if you get a change up first pitch, I'm not swinging. No, it's not happening. But if I have 2 strikes and she's thrown consistent changeups the entire game, I'm going to sit it and then I'm going to try and hit that one.
Well, see, that's what it takes to be a smart softball player. So you have to actually do the scouting report, do the work, and know and pay attention. I think that's the biggest thing for players now in softball and baseball, is that you have to pay attention to what the pitcher is doing. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you the answers to the test if you just pay attention.
You have to watch their tendencies. That's what we call
Exactly. Pitchers are creatures of habit. They're going to get into certain routines. So let's get into your stance right now. I want to see what your stance looks like from this left side. We've done only lefties, and I know we have this turf on here, thank goodness, because of my white shoes, but still, show me, when you get into the batter's box, what's it look like for you?
Okay, so plate's about here. I'm more of an outside hitter, but I swing a pretty big bat, so I don't have to get super far out there. I'm just right here.
That's why she wanted to take her jacket off, because she wanted to show off that she can swing a big bat.
So I'm just right here. I start open, and I have a little like pivot in this backside, and then I do a couple, I don't know what you call this.
Just comfortable. It's just that swagger of what you're trying to hit.
You kind of get a little rock with it, like That's how it
I know
goes.
you said on your getting to know Raging Cajun softball players that you love your dance parties, so you just
Oh
kind of
yeah, you just
move
gotta
a little
develop
bit into
into the box.
yeah.
You gotta get a little wiggle, like let them know what's going on. All right, ready to go. And now we're hitting.
Yeah, all right, awesome. And with that leg kick, is that something, again, you had to kind of develop, or is that something that just kind of came natural to you?
Oh, it's definitely developed. It's taken a year to get where I am now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so talk to me about how you go about preparing for a game, whether it be on game day, in practice, right before a game on the field, you know, an hour before the game. How does Kendall Talley go about preparing for a game?
The first thing I do is my hair.
Well, of course, that's
So
super
gotta do
important.
the game day hair. We usually get here about 2.5 to 3 hours before every game. We'll do like a little, we just call it a hit around. So
Yeah.
it's just the hitters. We're hitting machines, hitting front toss or whatever. We go put our uniforms on, and then that's when it starts like the pregame warm up. So that's when we take our batting practice and stuff like that. So when I do my hit around, I'm not super focused on results or anything, just trying to like get a feeling. When we do the hit around, we're like focusing on the pitches that we think we're gonna get. So if we're facing a drop ball pitcher, but she's also
That's
got a
smart.
nasty changeup,
Yeah.
we're gonna work on that so we're prepared when we see it. When we get into our batting practice, that's more of just feel good. You know, you wanna get your reps in, you wanna get feeling hot before you step in the box. So there I focus more on results. In the hit around, I'm just trying to see the pitch, okay, this is what I'm gonna get in the game, let me get my body in position now.
How about, are you a superstitious person at all?
No.
So you have no pregame rituals, nothing like that?
Dance party.
You just gotta have your dance party.
Dance
That's
party.
cool.
I have me, Raina, and Morgan do a handshake before every game.
Okay.
But it's not. It's one of those things that like if we don't do it, it's not a big deal. But if we're standing next to each other, we do it.
See, that's interesting because like usually
lot of players are
athletes are super.
yeah.
I was that way. I was very superstitious.
Yeah.
Who is somebody when you think about your softball career that was super influential to you and why?
Like another player or like a
Player,
coach?
a coach, somebody who you felt like had a big impact on your softball career. What it could be from when you were younger, a coach from there, maybe somebody you played with, somebody that coached you, maybe it's Coach Glasgow, whomever it may be.
There's been a lot. I would say the most consistent has probably been my dad.
Yeah.
He's kind of always been there for me. He doesn't make it to every game, but I could call him and be like, hey, this happened, and he's like, well, maybe you should try this, or he just kind of gives me a different perspective sometimes. Yeah. And then, you know, coaches come and go, transfer, coaching staff change, but my dad's been there through it all.
He's pretty consistent. That's great. In terms of adversity you faced, because as athletes, we all face adversity at some point. So when was the time that in your softball career that maybe you had to face some adversity?
Definitely my freshman year when I decided I was going to transfer.
Yeah.
You know, I had settled into Lamar. I had made a home there, made some really good friends, and then coaching staff changed and decided it wasn't for me, so had to go somewhere else, and then trying to decide where to go, and then getting here and thinking that, I mean, I had a phenomenal freshman year, so I think I'm really good, and I get here and Keely Milligan's even better, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of take a step back and learn how to be better, and that's why I took the redshirt year.
Yeah. What about your favorite softball memory? I know there's probably a lot.
Were you here Tuesday night when I hit a leadoff triple against Lamar?
I wasn't, but I was producing the game in the studio and I was watching it. Yeah, it was right down the left field line there.
I think that was it, just because I slid into third and I looked up and the entire team is like outside of the dugout cheering for me. I've never seen them. I mean, we get hyped, but
yeah, of course.
I've never seen them get hyped for me.
Yeah, because you had the red
good.
shirt the last year.
Yeah, so that was special. And then to get it against my former school.
That's true.
It was just kind of like a really big day. I didn't expect that to happen. It did. I slid into third. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah, it's just kind of, you were out there, you were just playing, just competing and having fun.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, here's our last thing for you, and we try to do this with all the videos. I know the softball community is huge here, so there's a lot of little girls watching you guys, especially in these stands back here. Give me a tip for a young softball player. We call this our Junior Cajun Corner.
Keep going. Keep going. No matter how hard it gets, keep going. Fall in love with the game. Fall in love with the process. It'll pay off in the long run.
There you go. Kendall Talley, redshirt sophomore here on Off the Turf with Raging Cajun Softball. I'm your host, Greg Larner. Kendall, thanks so much for being part of it.
No problem. Go Cajuns.